thank you so much for coming out for a little boat trip with us
It's
this
such a pleasure
afternoon.
to be on Geneva Lake here for the Geneva Watch Days, because the lake is really part of the pleasure of this event.
Yes, but you know, I know you're very busy, so I really appreciate you taking time out to come with us.
Yeah, but it's a good time. I mean, with World Tempus and GMT is very important for me as well.
Oh, well, thank you. We saw the novelties yesterday.
Yeah.
So many crazy, daring, beautiful pieces. Is being bold really part of the Bulgari philosophy, would you say?
Well, I think ever since the brand was created 140 years ago, which we're going to celebrate next year, audace and boldness are really written in the DNA of the brand. The founder not only, as a Greek immigrant, dared moving to Italy, dared creating his jewelry workshop in Rome, but he also was visionary and audacious to distribute himself directly its craftsmanship instead of selling it to a wholesaler who would have resold it again. So since day one, he was an innovator, not only in jewelry, inspired initially by Greece and then by Rome, but also in terms of distribution. So it's really in the roots of this family and this company.
Yeah, it's in the core. Now, you've just published, I think yesterday, this incredible book celebrating 100 years of Bulgari watchmaking. Can you tell me a little bit about this project?
Well, actually, it's 105 years, so the century is already beyond, and it's beyond time. This is the title of the book. It's a beautiful art book, which has been realized by Asulin, which is one of the best publishers when it comes really to very high quality paper photographies. And this book is pretty unusual because, unlike many watch books, it's not only the history of Bulgari in watches, told by experts of watchmaking. It's part of it as well, obviously, because, with Robbins, with Inbank, with Fabien Rebo, obviously you get something very sharp, but on the same time, we have also the contribution of sports people like Carl Lewis, of artists like Lorenzo Viotti. So it's a book which is meant not only to showcase, the art of watchmaking by Bulgari, but also seen from who's wearing or admiring the brand more as a client rather than an expert or someone really in this business.
Yeah, there's a different take, so it's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And so you have both sides, which makes the book pretty unique, in the landscape of watch books. There are plenty of. Yeah. For Bulgari, it was the first one, so we didn't want really to replicate exactly the same sequence of the traditional watchmaking books. On the other hand, we wanted something highly qualitative, very emotional, not only through the writing, but also through the pictures. The photographies are just amazing. Even, very technical photographies. We have made beautiful macro shots, and there are a lot also of lifestyle pictures. So it's really a book which is one of a kind.
Okay, well, I can't wait to see it. I haven't yet seen it because it just came out, but I'm really looking forward to it. Now, I wanted to ask you, because you're CEO of the watches, but you're also of the whole group. So you see all the different categories. Are you seeing any trends in the luxury industry as a whole that maybe we aren't seeing in watchmaking or that we should be attentive to?
Well, I think there was some underlying trend before COVID, which probably have been accelerated by COVID. One of these trends being, I prefer to buy less but better. So what we see that many clients maybe wait a bit longer before indulging in the luxury, but will buy better, so to say, very focusing on authenticity, on true craftsmanship, on obviously reliability, quality, and also the over time resale value. It's a dimension which was ever important, but probably post-COVID, people also pay attention to the future resale values they could have. And obviously, as a jeweler, we are very fortunate because we sell only precious metals and precious gems. So everything we craft has a resale value. How much, who knows? But we know that gems are very rare. Gold is something which has ever been pretty expensive. So we can guarantee our clients, and the same for the watch, most of them are in gold or still in gold, that there will be a resale value.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, I find myself in that category as well, of people wanting to buy better but less. So.
Exactly. And so the other trend, probably when you look at brands, is that you have also an acceleration of polarization. On the one hand, big brands are becoming bigger. And on the other hand, you have an emergence of new niche brands, which obviously by definition being recent and niche are extremely exclusive, which are getting more and more public and retailers' attention because they are really bringing newness. And when you think about the Geneva Watch Days, out of the 40 brands participating to the event, probably a good 30 are part of those new emerging brands. So this makes the Geneva Watch Days a real discovery watch forum. When you go to the traditional fair, you rather visit brands you have been ever knowing. Yes. At the Geneva Watch Day, obviously, there are brands you know perfectly. I mean, Bulgari is one of those, and there are many others. But I think 25 to 30 are not so famous. They are very small, but they are very successful. Why? Because in the last 3 years, out of those 40 brands, we got 60 Geneva Watchmaking Awards, including 2 Golden Hands. Wow. So if the broad public doesn't really know them, but will discover them thanks to Geneva Watch Days, the experts already are appraising those brands at a very high level. So somehow, they are a glimpse also to the future of Swiss watchmaking.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I've made quite a few discoveries already, and we're only on day 2.
Not surprised,
so,
but
yeah.
even myself, you know, I'm part of the organization. But within the new brands joining every year, I mean, we started at 15, we're at 40. Many were new to me, and I was amazed by the quality, the creativity, and really the added value they were bringing to an industry which is famous for being very resilient, consistent, and sometimes a bit too conservative. And they are bringing really new, fresh air, which is likely to attract new clients also to the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one last question for you. When you look at the future of Bulgari, what would you hope to see?
Well, to me, the future of Bulgari, on the one hand, has to be very true to its DNA, and this is why we are so successful nowadays. But on the other hand, we have also to be true to one dimension of the DNA, which is boldness and innovation. And therefore, whether it's watches which are equipped, for instance, with a QR code, which allows you to access the digital world, without compromising with mechanical. We want to further integrate modern technologies to enhance the watch beauty or the consumer experience. So we won't produce necessarily digital watches, but we'll use all the new digital tools, artificial intelligence, so that our watch look even better, more attractive. We have already in some boutique, virtual reality, where you can enter into the inside of the watch and discover the beauty of every single micro component that the naked eye can hardly see. So technological integration for sure is part of it, without becoming a technological brand inside the masterpiece itself. And the same I would say for jewelry. And more generally speaking, by doing so, we will increase the emotional benefit of being part of the brand community. And we'll further build that brand community by combining our 5 different businesses to further increase really the attractiveness of watch and jewelry. Meaning by that the fragrances are upgrading themselves to bring to the brand new young Gen Z consumers. Because they cannot necessarily afford a 10,000 Swiss franc watch overnight. Conversely, a 200 beautiful fragrance which take them into the Bulgari community is something which they can and they want to afford. And then it's up to us then to connect with them. And then QR code also will be part of it. And at the other end of the spectrum, we'll further expand the high hospitality. We have 9 hotels right now. Those hotels are the most expensive in the world in terms of ADR, the revenue per night. And therefore, they are hosting guests who are very wealthy people. It's not, corporate clientele, because no corporation would pay 15,000 euro a night for its employees. And therefore, those people obviously are very prone to the other luxury we sell, namely the high-end watches and the high jewelry. And so by putting all those pieces together, we'll make the watch and jewelry even more irresistible and bigger just because we have the unique chance compared to other brands, to feed it from the bottom and from the top, and to enrich it, turning it into an irresistible proposal and ideally the most desirable luxury experience in the world. This is the vision.
What a bright future ahead.
Well, it's a bright vision.
Yeah.
Let's turn it into a real future.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure, as always.
And thank you for the boat trip. I mean, I couldn't better finish my third day in Geneva Watch Days.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. Let's go for a little tour then before we go back to business.
Yeah.